Insert jingle here.
Insert jingle here.
Welcome back to the Pumpernickel podcast.
Pumpernickel.
As you probably heard, we're gonna work on that. There's a lot of formatting changes that we're going through, and so that insert jingle here is just for us to know in the future. A placeholder for a future freaking jingle that we're gonna add to the beginning of the podcast. We're doing a formatting difference this time around, and so we're trying to get into the habit of doing things differently, doing things better, consistently.
We're trying to provide some structure, for us and y'all.
Exactly.
In this haphazard, strung together world.
We're recording on Sundays from now on because traffic is better in the city that way. You know what I mean? Everything's better overall, and I think it's a good step. And so for our first new segment, Michael, lead us into it.
So first new segment. 4 views on a slice of news. We're just going to be talking about just a quick overview of what happened, current events the past week. Nothing like super in depth.
Right.
As I'm sure most of you know, part of the government still shut down. America out here smashing records in 2019.
Slice 1.
Setting records.
The crusty end. The crusty end of the pumpernickel bread Mike leaves with.
So you said part of is the whole government shut down?
No, it's only a part.
It's a partial government. Yeah,
it's 25% roughly of the government shut down.
Yeah.
Oh.
And this week, actually, this Friday was the first actual paycheck missed by a lot of those government employees.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And so, as of today, Sunday, we are now on day 23, which is the longest, because the last one was
2 weeks?
21.
21, yeah.
3 weeks.
The longest in history was 3 weeks,
Yeah, so every day that this continues, we're
breaking records.
Breaking records, baby.
Yeah, no, President Trump had his Oval Office speech from, Tuesday night at 9, and he was discussing his reasoning for vetoing the current budgets that keep coming to his desk, right? And he wants this wall. He gave his typical polarizing speech on immigration control and giving the people that elected him what they want. Like, I want secure buildings,
A speech, if I remember right, that they denied Obama during his administration. So a lot of them wouldn't air his version of it, but then they chose to air a Trump version of it.
Yeah, no, but it was very polarizing, just as typical for Trump's administration in the past. And what surprised me the next morning was when I was looking over at social media. It's basically split amongst the collegiate youth. You look at the groups, 50% for him, 50% against it. And even in the groups that were for, it's a mix of all ethnicities and races, and the same for the no's. So they're both equally as mixed groups, and just very divided.
Those Winter Day calendars are paying off for you, man. Those are some serious SAT words you just dropped.
No, there wasn't any SAT words. No, but it's just it's a very interesting time. It's the tensions are rising with China in terms of the trade deal. The markets are fluctuating because there's no real consistency.
And he's under investigation now, right?
Well, Mueller's still under investigation.
Well, Mueller's investigating him.
Right.
Yeah,
Pasta
guy? Mueller, the pasta guy. That native smoking for how up to date he is on politics. So Chef Boyardee is investigating the president. Let me get this straight.
Any news that you want to discuss?
It's not political.
No, it doesn't have to be. This is 4 slices of news, right?
No, it's fine. I was telling these guys, I don't, obviously I'm not a physicist, so I can't speak too well to this.
Yeah.
But I read articles of the Big Bang Theory. They've got all this stuff to go along with it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to explain it. Basically, picture the Big Bang Theory as a point on a bow tie.
It's been 15 seasons long.
Yeah.
Okay, so, that silence was there for a reason. The picture of the Big Bang is a point on a bow tie, and we're on the right side where it's getting bigger. The left side, they're trying to make a new theory for what happened before the Big Bang. So right now, they're saying that basically nothing ever happened is the current model,
right?
And everything just kind of exploded from the dot. Now there's a group of people in Canada saying everything went in reverse. So you had reverse particles and reverse time. So there was the universe we have now, but backwards on the previous side of the Big Bang, and it all collided together. And then exploded in reverse to what we have now.
So we started with -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, went to 0,
and then
things
came
exploded,
out
and then came out to 1.
You got it.
Yeah, no, and it's crazy to think about, because there's lots of all these theories that come out, and like you said, we're not physicists here.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true or not.
Some of the theories that come up with I could, Guillermo del Toro, some of these like Hollywood directors or screenwriters can come up with these ideas, and it's like, how wrong are they though?
Yeah, like what is reverse time?
Exactly. Like
I don't know,
because we humans can't can't imagine.
It's like when you put a VHS in and you press rewind.
No, but it's hard to imagine. As humans, we can't see things. We can't process things we don't understand, right?
Right.
And if there's
like 4-dimensional space,
right, we can't fathom it because we just can't. Mentally, we can't. Yeah, there's no way to fathom or know.
Yeah, because it's not a real thing to us. Like
right.
It's like it doesn't.
It's completely abstract. We can try to describe and see. And
but it's from I guess like we were talking about it before. It's like it's from a math standpoint because the reason why we can figure out what we know from all of this is through math specifically. So because you have this function or you have this really complex function. Because of what it resolves to, these things must have happened for this to be right type of thing. So it's like, yeah, you get all of your evidence from the math, not the other way around. Like a lot of theories, like physics especially, rely on things that are happening first, and then you test those things.
Oh no, it's 100% mathematical. But at the end of the day,
there's just all mathematical. Yeah,
it's all mathematical, but it's all theory too, right?
Right.
Because what's to say that look at these little humans and their math, and it's just this one was the most basic of equations,
right?
To describe something that's
But that's I guess that's what there's a book about that, right? There's this book about how math is the only absolute truth because it's even though we have our own way of describing things, it doesn't mean that thing doesn't exist. You know what I mean? It's just that some other culture, some other civilization would have another way to describe it, but the math still would have to be the same. You know?
Yeah.
So it's it would
that does translate across all languages.
Yeah, and it would translate across, but that's all from shared human experience. But they're saying that an alien race, no matter how different they are, would still have to have the same math, even if of course the numbers and shit and the representations are going to be different. But the ideas would have to be the same in order for them to live in a reality, basically. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Unless we fucked it up and our reality is all...
True, we could have just messed it up, which is true.
That's exactly right.
Humanity's really good for fucking some shit.
Yeah, but at the end of the day... Yeah, and then what was that movie? Me and Eddie went and saw... what was the name of it?
With Amy Adams, right?
Amy Adams, yeah. What was the name of it?
And Hawkeye.
Not Contact. What was the name of that movie? Something like that. But it was where they made contact with an alien race.
Yeah.
It was based on the book, the short story that I read. It was About You or something like that. About Time. I can't remember the name of the short story. The Story of You or something like that. I think was the name of it.
Aliens.
But yeah, long story short, it was just about aliens coming back to Earth, and it wasn't because they were trying... Arrival, yeah. They weren't trying to destroy the world like every corny alien movie does. It was
trying to help us.
They were trying to help us, and because...
Our friends.
Yeah, but they came specifically because they were showing us things. They were showing us basically how they think of things, and they were relying on us, on our way of thinking things. Because, the idea was that there are theories and things that just make sense to them because of how they are. And so, complex mathematical equations for them are, elementary because that's the way they think about them.
Right.
But the way we think about things is complex to them because of, simple math to us doesn't make sense to them because the way they think about time.
So it's stupid.
So it's really interesting. Yeah, exactly. So we're dumb to us, but to another alien race, we could be incredibly smart because we view things differently than they do.
Right.
And so it was really cool. It was a really, really cool interpretation of that. And so me and Eddie stood outside the movie theater for 2 hours talking about why the world isn't real. We had a high thought. Yeah, it was a couple of hours.
It was a couple of hours out there just
we were out there just talking for about the whole movie.
That's one of those conversations where you wish you had a whiteboard.
Yeah. And this white couple walked by us and they were just they heard us and they were just what was that movie about?
We wish you could tell you. But.
Yeah, exactly. And me and him were deep. We were 2 hours deep into the conversation. And it was
just some red tape.
Yo, yeah. But really what she's talking about here is, it was cool though. But I really liked it because it was a movie that wasn't about the same BS. It was they're here for a reason. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because that's the thing I always got me in alien movies too. It's alien movies are always they're coming to Earth to steal our resources. But why would they do that? The universe is infinite. They could go get it from somewhere that there's nothing there. Right. You know what I mean? It's so why would you come here to Earth for some bullshit?
Because they gobbled everyone else's up.
I mean, I guess, but the universe is infinite. You would spend more time just trying to gobble up those resources than you would ever. By the time you did that, we would all be extinct. You know what I mean? What is it? Water is infinite. gold and other resources are infinite. Hell, we found a planet made of diamond, if that's what you were into for some strange reason. Like, there's infinite everything around, so it's you don't need Earth for anything. Unless you were here for humans specifically. Oh.
We're just a bunch of water sacks. So.
For real. And on to the next one.
Well, that's a cheerful note.
What was your contribution for the week?
Oh, yeah. The Bird Box Challenge. Yeah, not to break things down to stupid.
So I heard, did some girl run to a tree or something?
Yeah, she ran her car into
into
crash.
Traffic
Yeah.
crash. Yeah.
So
In a Bird Box Challenge.
I don't know what Bird Box is and what's the challenge?
All right, Bird Box is a movie on Netflix starring Sandra Bullock and then one of the dudes from Moonlight. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, and they did a really good job promoting the movie through social media, and people really caught on, and it became a whirlwind.
And
it's on Netflix, and it had a crazy amount of views. People loved it. I watched about 90% of it, and I didn't finish the last. I need to go back and finish it, but
I'm hearing lots of things. So people who love it and people who do not love it.
Yeah, the movie revolves around the idea that like humanity is essentially being judged in a way, and so it's like a degree of either it could be an alien conspiracy or demons or whatever it is, but they're like whenever you like walk outside or you look outside of your house, basically, like you get drawn into the demons, like whatever, like they're like talking to you. So they talk to like about like they come from the perspective of like your loved one or something like that, and they like basically hypnotize you into killing yourself or killing other people. And so
that's why you blindfold yourself.
You have to blindfold yourself when you're outside in order to not like be drawn in by them.
Like the Mortal Kombat character?
Right. So like
I haven't seen it, but like
blind people aren't affected by it, and slight spoiler, actually, blind people aren't affected by it.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
And people not crazy, but people who are dealing with like mentally unstable people aren't affected by it either. Schizophrenics, because they hear the voices already. And so they're not affected by them when they see them. And so, like, the whole movie overall. But anyway, long story short, people kill themselves in the movie when they see it, all types of random stuff, and then whatever. You'll see it when you see it. Right. But people have been doing the challenge where they do, like, dumb stuff blindfolded, essentially. And so my argument about it was, by her crashing, did she not fulfill the Bird Box Challenge?
Or did she? What? So the voices still talk to her,
right? Did she not already?
But isn't that the craziest thing? Like, you get caught in this whirlwind of like social media, and like everybody starts doing these challenges, and like
isn't the hot water challenge and the Tide Pod challenge essentially the Bird Box challenge?
It's the same thing, right? Yeah, people just fall for the same. Like, let me blindfold myself and go drive a car,
right?
Because that's the smartest thing to do.
And you're always gonna get some segment of society that's dumb enough to do something like that. It's they're like, but they always get like pulled in. Like it's always like kids are doing like dumb stuff. You know what I mean? And it's like...
Yeah, but kids always do dumb stuff.
Yeah, there's always a handful of kids that are going to be idiots. You know what I mean? Like, most kids are just playing video games or watching TV.
People were snorting Kool-Aid when I was going to school.
Exactly, yeah. So people were smoking Smarties when we were in school.
Why did that?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, there's all types of little dumb stuff that kids have always
done. But these aren't just kids. These are like people... Nowadays, you see these Bird Box challenges or these challenges being done across the age spectrum. From
you have people that ate marbles when we were kids. Those people grew up, and if they still if they're still eating marbles now, well,
I mean, if you're dumb, you're dumb. Like it's like, there's no reason to really even talk about it because most kids aren't going to be doing like the Tide Pod challenge. They were like, kids are eating Tide Pods. Like, yeah, like 5 kids ate Tide Pods. The rest of them were looking at those kids like these niggas is idiots. Like it's like you're not gonna mess that up, or you're not going to change anything by attacking like a small segment of kids. You know what I mean? If anything, you're going to turn them off.
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah, but anyway, long story short, there's a Bird Box challenge for anybody who is...
Which basically, you blindfold yourself and do some dumb shit?
And do something
and do an activity,
an activity, and they chose driving, the geniuses.
That seemed to not work out too well, I'm guessing.
Clearly, but...
so much so that Netflix had to like send out a warning, like, obviously, do not...
there's no reason why we should be telling you this, but you probably shouldn't be in traffic.
So that's like the Pokemon Go kid who walked into traffic because he saw like a Pikachu.
Listen, sometimes you got to catch that Pokemon, bro.
Bro, that's just wild too. Like you can't, like,
or whatever they were doing.
Yeah.
Do you think he's at a what's the Pokemon hospital?
Poke Center.
Yeah, Poke Center.
All right.
Did he get fixed up?
Is that what we hit?
Ding, ding, all right. So after we got all his HP replenished,
right?
Last little bit of note to end on a good lining for running it back to the political spectrum. The people that are currently not working because of the shutdown still have access to their healthcare. So even though they're not getting paid, if they have any sort of medical issues or anything like that, like they'll still be able to receive treatment and stuff. And so
nice.
That's a nice little.
That is a nice little
silver
lining.
This might be a dumb question, but are the doctors and the hospitals run by the government? So wouldn't they be shut down and not getting paid?
Well, it's not like a federal hospital.
They're not federal hospitals. They're getting funded via like insurance or like you're making a payment.
I don't know if it like all went in a circle like that.
No, it's just partial federal funding that's being like limited. Because even government.
It's mostly the ones that haven't had budgets set either. Like usually you have your budget set depending on the department, and some don't have that.
Yeah,
so they're the ones that are.
And that's why it's partial, because there are some people that had like their budget set already. So like they're like, all right, we've
parts of the CDC. Yeah,
like we've been told what money we're going to have, and we have it.
Right.
And so like we don't have to worry about anything. But for the people that haven't set that in stone yet, they're just like, oh well, I guess when we
have to wait.
Yeah, we'll figure it out whenever y'all get your shit together.
And it's being held hostage for a while.
Yeah. You know, I heard TSA people were going to start like
taking sick time.
Time. They're all cashing on their sick time.
Yep.
As a form of striking because they're not getting paid. So they're just like, well, let me cash in my sick time.
Which is fair. You can't expect them to work and not get paid. Like, that's just not okay.
So now we have all these TSA agents not working and lines are getting longer.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's not like Christmas has already gone by.
Oh, yeah. So the heavy season.
Oh, master of segues, Eduardo Sanchez over here.
I'm just, I'm really good at these, guys. Yeah, talking about lines getting longer and longer. No, as is the case with like airport travel in busy times of the year. Recently, I was in a line for a while.
Hey, did you end up getting those tickets?
I did get the tickets. Okay, nice. So like I've never. 27 years of living, I'm not the kind of guy that wakes up early to go get in a fucking line. All right.
To be fair, you got. Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I don't go get in line for video games. I don't go get in line for like limited edition sneakers or whatever the case may be. Black Friday shopping, that's not me. My brothers do enjoy it. I'll meet them up at like 9 o'clock in the morning with coffee.
Right.
But I was, I heard this, there was a Japanese like artist with her like special exhibit, Infinity Mirrors, Kasuma, Yaoi Kasuma.
Yeah.
Here at the High Museum. And all tickets were like sold out within a couple of weeks in the month of December. Like when all those like High Museum members who pay like whatever fee, they all like instantly bought out all the available tickets pre-sale. So all tickets available now, there are only 100 tickets a day, and it's Monday to Saturday, and it's you got to get in line to see if you get one of these tickets. Max 2 tickets per person. So I was like, you know what? I saw that the exhibit's open from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Thursday. So I said, I'll be able to get in line. I'll get a slot in the evening. It'll be good. So I thought about waking up at 5:30, getting there at 6, and then the day before Thursday, that Wednesday, I looked at Twitter and I saw that the High Museum was like, the last 100 ticket was sold. The person got in line at 6 a.m. And I was like, oh, that person got there at 6 a.m. So I woke up at 4:30. I got there at 5:15 a.m. And the Uber driver drops me off and he's like, you sure you want to come here, not the airport? And I was like, no, here's fine. He's like confused as to why I was being dropped off and random downtown.
Pull a gun out of your pocket and walk inside.
No, this is where I want to be.
You have a good trip.
Yeah, this is good. Hey, enjoy.
As he starts the timer on his bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I brought one of those fold-up chairs, and I go out there and it's 5:15. Now, granted, it was 70 degrees last Sunday. Thursday morning at 5:15, it was 34 degrees outside.
Mm-hmm.
So I had my long johns, I had my layers, and I thought I can handle this. I get there and I'm like I see people in front of me. I'm like, oh, look, I'm the 30th person here. Yeah. I ended up being 27. But yeah, I get in line at 5:15. An hour later at 6:15, 30 degrees. And I'm like, okay, it's rough. I got my buds on. I got my earbuds on. I'm like listening to music. I'm sitting there like, compressing my like thighs. I'm sitting there doing some like small motions. I'm like, okay, blood flow's keeping going. Okay, I'm good. The 7:15 rolls around, the sunlight starts to break, and I'm like, okay, the sun is out, warmth will soon come. What warmth? It's 27 degrees outside.
You're doing jumping jacks and push-ups.
The wind is like cold as fuck.
And you're in fucking
concrete all around.
Yeah.
And like the line is now longer. Like when I got there at 5:15 to like 7:15, all of a sudden there's this huge ass line.
Bundle up.
Yeah, this guy comes out at like 7:45, and he starts handing out vouchers to the first 100 people. And he's going, do you want 1 ticket or 2 tickets? And then most people said 2, right? So he's handing out, here's your voucher for 2, voucher for 1. And he's going, And then he like gets to the end, and then I see him talking, and I see people like 20 people stand up and just leave, like frustrated, because apparently, even if you don't get a voucher, if you were there in line, it's like, look, people ahead of you, some people got 2 tickets, right? Or they vouched for 2 tickets, but maybe they end up deciding they don't want one, and then you could end up getting one.
Yeah.
Because once at 8 o'clock, we were able to get inside.
Right.
So once 8 o'clock hit, the doors opened, they let us inside, it was warm. But then we had to wait another hour until 9 o'clock when they can officially sell the tickets. And that hour, they tell us that they're only going to be selling slots from 10 a.m. to 4:30, even though the exhibit's open till 9.
These better be the craziest mirrors you've ever seen.
Bruh, I did not know it was this type of ordeal. So now I'm in line halfway through, and I'm like, I hope I get 4:30 tickets. Because
you get 5 hours worth of stuff?
well, I wanted to be able to cash in at 4:30, and be able to like stay longer, right? And someone was going to come with me, and the later
someone's going to come with me.
Right.
Continue.
So, anyways,
Someone's.
I finally get there, and I'm like, I get my 2 tickets, 4:30 slots, perfect. And it was a whole adventure. This was an experience.
Yeah, it's tight.
No, it was actually worth it. You know, you get there, the exhibit was really awesome, and it was the whole day was a thing. Like waking up early as fuck to get in this line, being out there huddled, hearing the hustle and bustle of people like, oh shit, time slots are only from 10 to 4:30. People are changing their schedules. They're angry. They're like calling friends. They're calling, did you invite Victoria? We hate Victoria. Like, you know, that kind of thing. Like, people,
we hate Victoria.
yeah, like people were like changing their schedules, and people that had originally gotten 2 tickets got 0 tickets. And yeah, it was insane.
You get in there and the exhibit's only one like mirror, and it's like a hand mirror.
Oh, gosh.
I waited outside at 30 degrees.
You know what?
I lost 2 fingers for this.
You know what made the
And right
exhibit
above the
better?
mirror is you, idiot.
Oh, God.
The exhibit was good, but what made it better was the wait. It's almost like hunger as a spice, you know?
Right.
Hyped you up.
Right, like because
I
you did
fought
it.
for these tickets, so they're better.
So
like,
they're better.
The experience is better, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like I just picked them up and was just like, look at these mirrors.
Yeah, but isn't it wild though? Like waiting in line for something like that. Like, and
I don't know.
I've never. I mean, like I've gone to like a midnight release for a video game, but like it's not really so much of a wait because you've already bought the thing. So really, it's just like you walk in the door and they're just like you show them your receipt, which they've already marked off because you pre-bought it, and so they're just like, you got the thing, here you go, and then you just turn and leave. So it's not really like, oh, like the thing you're waiting for is midnight, but like that's gonna come, and like usually they have like tournaments or like some other shit going on in the store that you can just like kill time with, or you could just show up at like 11:55 and buy the thing and then go to the end of the line and then just get your shit and go on home. But like it's never been a like I'm waiting in line and I don't know if I'm gonna get this thing or not. I've never done that.
yeah, I've never done it either. It was an experience. Like, yeah, and you know, people do it more nowadays with not just like these museum tickets, but like sneakers. I hear it's becoming a big thing. Like
Supreme as a brand, yeah.
Supreme, Nike, like all Adidas, like the limited edition sneakers that come out. Like you're in line. There's companies that pay people to stay in line. Like,
yeah. Which I understand, but that's still wild to me. It's just like, hey, like, are you really good at wasting time? Cool. We'll pay you to stand in line for someone else.
I don't have that kind of cash to be paying someone just to stand there for me.
I don't have that kind of patience.
Honestly, though, depending on what it is, it might be worth it. Like, I don't know what the price tag is for that, but like, say for instance, if it's like $100 or $150 to stand out there for 5 hours or something that you wanted, it's worth it to not have to be there.
you know what? The crazy thing I heard is like when Yeezys came out, like the first set of Yeezys, and even current Yeezys today.
Right.
You have to get on a wait list. There's an exclusive thing about like applying to a certain wait list, and once you do get your slot in line, like you may not, you know, if you don't get the wait list, you got to get in this line early as fuck to see if you can even get the shoes. Once you're in there, I think they limited you to like 2 pairs of sneakers.
Yep.
And they're like $15 or like $450 shoes, right?
Yeah, easy.
So you drop like
but they resell for
they
like
resell for
$1,500.
$1,500. Yeah, they resell for $2,000. So you pay $450, but then you sell these shoes for these 2 pairs. You get two pairs of shoes, right? You drop like $900, but you sell each of them for $2,000.
Oh, people are crazy, man.
So you pay this guy how much? You pay a guy like maybe $300 to stand in line, and you still profit.
And yeah, exactly. And say for instance, even if it's that high, people will do it for less. There's people who will just stand in line regardless for less than. So it's like, say for instance, you spend $200 for 5 hours of your time bought back. That's not worth it. $40 for specifically something you wanted that you can't get any other time.
I don't know what that would be.
I mean, I know, but I'm just saying from the perspective of that. Like,
yeah, 40, what is it? Yeah.
Exactly. Like, say for instance, it's even that long. For like 4 or 5 hours, you get all of that time back and you get your thing. It's totally worth it, in my opinion. Like, it's
I would agree at that point. Like, if it was something like I really want this thing,
right?
I'm not waiting in that line.
Like for Mike, like Kingdom Hearts 3, there's only 3 copies of it. Or 100 copies of it in the entire fucking
city,
country,
yeah.
And you're like number 33 in line, and some dude walks by and is like, "If you pay me $400, I will stand out here for 10 hours to ensure that you get your copy of Kingdom Hearts."
All right, yeah,
exactly. There's nothing wrong. I'm just saying, in the context of like your time, like that's the thing that we all gotta learn too. I feel like is that like it's something that I'm learning is that your time is worth money. You know what I mean? So, like, time bought back is worth the money. That's, like, what rich people know is that, like, getting your time back is worth any amount of money that you have to spend for it. And so it's just, if I can get 5 or 6 hours back on my day for $300 or $200 or whatever, like, even at my office, you know what I mean? That would still be roughly about the same amount of time, you know?
And,
so
that's honestly, like, I mean, I know that's, like, something that some people know, some people don't, but that's how I approach most of life.
Right.
Because like there are a lot of my friends that do like their own like car work and shit like that, and I don't want to be outside in the elements doing that shit. I would much rather.
What you trying to say?
Nothing. I would.
Some of my friends
but for him personally, you don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that. Like, yeah, I mean, like I understand the process of changing oil. You know, like. Doing all this stuff to your car, but like I don't want to do that.
Right.
And so like, especially not in like January.
No, when it's cold as fuck in hell.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be outside doing that shit. So like, yeah, I will pay somebody else who is a specialist and this is what they do for their living to do that for me while I go do something else.
That's fair.
And so it's the same process, or it's the same thought process. It's just like someone's waiting in the line for you.
Right. It's like I don't want to be here.
No, and it's true. I wonder, there's lots of things that are limited edition that you can sell, so you can resell for so much money that it's, like I said, those sneakers, they're $2,000 a pair. You make $4,000, right? And like you spend $900, even if you pay $300.
It's one of those things where it's worth whatever someone's willing to pay you for it.
Right, exactly.
Just like someone doing brakes for you. The reality, I mean, I'm not saying I'm a brake specialist. I saw there and watched someone do it once and sort of helped once. Mm-hmm. But they'll charge you $500.
Oh, brakes are so expensive when it's not.
It's 2 bolts. Literally 2 bolts.
It's not that. And sometimes it's just one bolt that you slide up, pop in, boom.
And my front ones don't have bolts to them necessarily.
They're just sliders?
Yeah, so like the front 2 slide out like Nintendo cartridges.
Yeah.
And so somebody would have charged me like $500 for my fronts, and it's just like, but you would have just taken a tire off and pulled them out like a you know what I mean?
You
like,
just slide them out the Kepler.
Yep, right out the cap.
Caliper.
So it's just like, caliper, I mean. So it's like all of that. But that's the way I view it, specifically with car work, is that like so far I've probably saved like $2,000, $3,000 in car auto costs because in like the amount of I've spent on my car has been like $500 in parts. But it's just like I've saved about that much because it's like it's easier to just do it yourself depending on what it is. Like oil and stuff like that and all of that stuff. They'll charge you to change like all of your oils and like your spark plugs and things like that. It'll be like $1,000 at like a lot of these places, and it's like that was $150 in parts. Like easy.
No, but it's like my sense. It's about your convenience. It's about what you want to pay for, like what you exactly.
Exactly. Because like in Eddie's case, like if you pay somebody to stand in that line for you, and like they might have sent you a text message like, hey, like we can't get the
whatever time slot
tickets. Like, all right, well, give me the latest one that you can get, like the 430s. All right, cool. And you could have slept in while somebody else was outside at 5:15.
This is true. This is
freezing
true.
their ass off, like,
right.
But would it have hyped up the mirrors enough?
That's the thing. I don't know. It's a different experience. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Like there's the experience that also comes with that.
There's a certain satisfaction that like it felt like I was on a trek, like on a mission. You know, like
a trek.
I'm out there. Yeah, I'm out there with like my face covered up.
Quest.
He got a North Face on with a couple Starbucks.
I realized
and a pair of Ugg boots on.
No.
I think the only thing I've waited in line that long for is like a roller coaster.
everybody
You wait for
Except me, nah.
Not roller coaster man.
Nah,
Dude,
I mean, like,
I do
don't
like
get me
roller-
wrong. I'm not opposed to roller coasters, but like, nah. I went to Six Flags. I went to Six Flags in July with one of my brothers, and it was just like, all right, yeah, it's gonna be like a 3-4 hour wait for you to get on this roller coaster, and I'm just like, in this heat, nah, I'm good.
Next ride.
Yeah, sign me up for a funnel cake.
For real.
That's why you got to hit that fast pass.
Yep.
It's crazy. Like you say, you got to get a fast pass just to get marginal amount of time off.
Yeah, White Mike and I went. When was it? The last weekend in December.
Right.
Because he had 2 free tickets. We hit up maybe 4 or 5 rides in 2 hours and a half, 3 hours.
That's not too bad.
So it was good. Yeah, it was really
fast
good.
pass?
No, we weren't fast passing. Had we fast passed it, we would have cleaned out.
Oh, you guys like sprinting between rides?
Yeah.
I remember that happened to us in like elementary school.
I was
We
tired.
just graduated like 5th grade, and so it was off to like middle school or whatever. And it was or it was like 3rd grade. And so like we ended. I think my mom and like my friend's mom back then took us to Six Flags. It was like a Wednesday or something like that, and we cleaned house. There was nobody there, and so we hit everything. Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, we cleaned up on a weekday. You'll clean up.
Oh yeah, you know what was nice? Like Dogs After Dark at UGA.
I never went.
Like UGA Six Flags night, man, those were good times.
Yeah, I never.
The park
went
is
to
open
Dogs
just to
After Dark.
UGA students.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, from like
But it wasn't. Not every Dogs After Dark was that. Because there were Dogs After Dark that was like catering at like Tate.
there was
like,
lots of
there
events.
lots of them.
There was also events, but the Dogs After Dark did the Six Flags.
They bought out like Six Flags or
Athens,
whatever. Yeah.
I bought out Six Flags.
Yeah, so you pay $20 and you go from 4 p.m. to like midnight,
Yep.
and it was well worth it. You just hit up all the rides you want.
I remember we were supposed to go, but we had the FE exam the next day. Remember that? Like it was.
Do I remember that? It was a 9-hour exam. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, we had the FE exam the next day, and all of us were nervous as hell. And then when I got in there, I was like, "Man, this shit trash." Like I was like, I could have been at Dogs After Dark. I didn't have to study for this.
I also remember that there was one kid who would, I don't know if he didn't care, because so for UGA as an engineer, you have to take the FE exam, which is the Fundamentals of Engineering exam, to graduate. You don't have to pass it, but you do have to pay money to take the exam, and there's all sorts of other crap you have to deal with. So 99% of the time, it's like, okay, might as well go and pass.
Might as well do well, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you spent money, yeah.
But
Also, if all of your classmates pass and you don't,
you look stupid.
you look stupid.
Oh, and you will get 8.
But the dude next to me was like, I don't know, maybe like a biological engineer, took the mechanical section and left after like 10 minutes. And I was like, how do you do that? And I realized he did not answer those questions.
Yeah, you got the hell out of here.
Yes. He left it. So it's like a 9-hour exam broken up into like 2 spots. He left after like 30 minutes in each section. I was like, how did he? Oh, he didn't do it. I see now.
Yeah.
I see what's happening here. He's not taking it. He's opting for the Simply I Want to Graduate course.
Right. I'm trying to get out of here.
Yes, I see now.
But yeah, well, I mean, that was like waiting in lines for things like that. I guess I imagine is definitely worth it depending on what it's used. Now, luckily, the things that I enjoy have nothing to do with line times.
Agreed.
So yeah, I don't really have to worry about that.
Same.
But maybe in the future, you know what I mean? A pair of Jordans will drop and it'll hit me, and I'll be like, you know what? I want these. I need these.
Yeah.
I'll go on there. But then they have bots online that take care of that. That'll buy it for you. So like people use bots to buy shoes and clothes and stuff like that.
Bach?
Bots.
Oh, bots.
Robots, yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes way more sense.
The reason you have to click that I am not a robot box. That.
Yeah, people use bots for that, yeah. I'm
I'm
sure
not
there's
a
a
robot
bot
box.
for that now, too.
They made a new one, right? Like, you have to click like pictures of bicycles.
Yeah, I feel like that's also Google's way of trying to get people to do their work for them. So it's like identifying objects in pictures and things like that, like building AI and algorithms around that. So that's Google's slick way
that's
of
Google.
trying to-
That's 100%.
Yeah, Google's slick way, just like how they do with Google Maps.
When they eventually become Skynet. Yeah.
Yep, which they already on the way to, because Google keeps asking me recently, is this place still a speed trap? Like, have you been getting those questions?
No.
Yeah, Google. If you use it while you're using it, sometimes it'll straight up ask you like, is this place a speed trap? Because it's trying to take over Waze's role.
But Waze is from Google.
Waze is from Google.
Well, Waze was its own thing,
And then Google bought it out.
And then Google bought it out.
There it is. Yeah,
But it's still a Google thing.
it's still
yeah,
part
but I
of
think they're
Google.
trying to phase it into the to Google
into this
Maps,
new
yeah.
improved version. Yeah.
Add it to the Skynet
It's
portfolio.
like y'all came with y'all came up with a nice thing, but we're gonna take your nice thing and incorporate it into us,
and then destroy your nice thing.
Destroy your nice thing, so
Right.
it no longer exists.
like osmosis.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just us.
Nice.
So it's
Google, Skynet, and then Amazon is Acme.
Amazon is
wow.
Acme.
That's a good call.
It is.
And then Apple is
Amazon definitely is Acme.
It is.
Apple's struggling right now.
Are they? Oh yeah, because they can't.
Their sales have
After
not been what
Steve
they
Jobs,
expected.
after Steve Jobs, they've
Yeah.
just been on a steady decline because it's like
The XR sales were not what they were projecting. And
and then they're charging $1,000 for the new iPad, and it's just like who's gonna buy a half computer?
Their,
at $1,000 price point?
their CEO and chief financial officer said that the increase in price for that XR was, even though they're going to have lower sales, the increase in price was going to end up offsetting just enough that, like, even if it was a poor quarter, it was going to be typically the same. But it wasn't.
No, of course not.
So now they're projecting to sell 3 new iPhones this year.
They're sending out 3 new
3
ones.
new ones. Yeah, that's dude. It's looking.
Well, I
They're
mean,
gonna die. They're gonna
I'm
die.
about to
You're
say-
flooding the
I was-
market.
I mean, when they say
See, this is the Jordans that I brought. But yeah,
when they say
retro
3 new
30s.
ones, it's like here's a number, here's a larger version of that number, and then here's like the
Oh yeah, they're not different.
Yeah.
That's why I always used to make fun of like there's always this beef between Apple and Android. I don't have a beef. Like Apple has its own good things about it, but like you can't tell me that y'all aren't fanboys of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't front and act like you're not a fanboy when they sell you the same product every year. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a good product. But I'm just saying, like, don't act like don't act like you're thinking outside the box because you use Apple. You're not.
Yeah.
Like,
well, like the biggest difference between Apple and Android for the main consumer is that
software usability.
Apple locks away all the opportunity for you to
mess it up. Yeah.
For you to fuck your shit up. Meanwhile, Android is just like, yeah, you can download whatever fucking application you want. It might crash your phone, but you have the opportunity to get it.
Right.
And Apple's just like, we're not going to let you get that because it's going to crash your phone.
Exactly.
So Apple's like the communism of phones.
In a way, yeah. You don't really get a choice. But it's like it's what comes with freedom, right? It's like the freedom to do whatever you want comes with the freedom to also fuck it up. And then the same with the other way around. It's like you don't get to do whatever you want on Apple, but you get the security.
you get the security that comes with it. Yeah.
So it's like I'm not knocking any of that. My only knock is
I've contemplated switching back to like flip phone.
Dude,
that would fit your style. Honestly,
it would.
That fits you.
I missed it by one day. Turns out, Vitamin Water was willing to pay you $100,000 to switch to a flip phone for 1 year. I missed the offer by one day.
Oh, bruh. Give me $100,000. Watch me use that razor.
Bruh,
No shit.
I be flipping that phone all day. Let's go.
I'd go to a Sidekick.
Bruh.
Ooh.
I would absolutely go to a side.
Yeah, no. One of my friends.
I'll go back old school razor.
One of my friends.
I'd go pre-red. I'd go to the old school Nokia.
That too.
We're gonna come back to it, huh?
One of my friends used to work at Danger, the people that made sidekicks.
Yeah.
And so like he had just a bunch of them because he worked at the place that made them, and so like he would like kick me some of the old ones that he had.
Nice.
I was all about the sidekick.
Oh yeah, and
I
then
would
you know they
definitely
brought
go back to
the
one of those.
they recently brought the Nokia back, the Nokia Brick. Like the original Nokia Brick, they brought that back, and then they brought like the Nokia, the Nokia
IKEA Brick.
the IKEA Brick, and the Nokia
IKEA making cell phones.
They may as
banana
well.
like phone, like the one like that's like that like it's not a flip, but it like extends, and the keys are underneath the extended part.
Like the one from the Matrix.
Yeah, and so they brought that back for a while, and so like they're bringing those. Like I'm telling you, it's only a matter of time before we go back to flip phones.
I'm down.
It's just a matter of time.
I want to go back to the flip phone.
We are going to do it.
I got too much crap on my phone as is. I'm down with just buttons and calls.
People, I mean, I don't mean the interface is going to go back. The interface is going to be new, but
be
the
interface.
style is going to come back.
I'm saying I'm cool with going back interfaces.
Yeah, right.
You got to calm down at least for just a split second because like until it becomes like the new hot thing. If you're using a flip phone, either you're incredibly fucking old or you're doing some illegal activity.
Right, and also kids cannot be around you type thing. Like it's like you're not allowed to be around children.
Yeah, one of my old coworkers at the place me and Elvin used to work at had a flip phone, and he was like a 40-year-old man, and I was like, nah, bro.
He's a cool dude with a weirdo. So like, it's like a little bit.
To be fair, I work with people who got the regular phone, but it's like got the hip holster.
Oh, you can't have. Oh, that's.
sir.
Nah, you gotta calm that down.
Yeah, you gotta relax.
I can't wait an extra quarter second to reach into my pocket and grab this, so it better be on my hip at all times.
Yeah, I can't wait till I see you with the hip flip phone
You better chill.
and a fanny pack on the other
just
side
about
with
to
the
say.
white New Balances.
Wait,
And
and
the
wait.
acid wash jeans and the tucked in polo shirt. Oh,
All right, cancel this podcast. Me know I'm gonna square
and
up.
an old cap and a bottle of Diet Mountain Dew.
I'll see you outside, young man.
There it is. I already see Nate. Old Nate.
Don't do that.
Yeah, that's old Nate right there. The striped polo shirt tucked in.
Don't do this to yourself.
Yeah, man. That's the name of this podcast. Old Nate.
No.
Nah, I'm fucking around.
Young Nate does not approve of this message.
But old Nate does.
Maybe.
Werther's original in the other pocket.
To be fair, though, who's eating Werther's originals the most here? That'd be you.
That is not me.
That was actually you.
It was actually you.
No, it was
You bought a pack.
I
Yeah,
did
who
buy
ate them
them.
all?
And I did not eat them all. I ate like 4 of them, 5 of
I'm
them.
gonna be honest with you. You ate the majority.
No,
of
I
that.
did not eat the majority of that pack. You bought them. You ate.
It's
half
okay,
of them.
Open. It's denial is the first step.
No, you had them laid out. I had a couple of them, but you.
Yeah, a couple of handfuls.
I didn't. You're grossly exaggerated for the sake of a joke. Like you try to get this heat off of you with your New Balances.
I'm wearing Nikes, first off. I rep Nike.
No.
So if Nike wants to give me a new pair of shoes, because mine are 9 years old.
Get him a pair of white Nike Dad 11s.
Nike Dad 11.
Yeah, the Nike.
The Air
Dad-
Janitors?
The Air Janitors. He's got a janitor with a mop on the front of it, like with his legs out. The Janitor 11s. That might be the name of this podcast.
The Janitor 11?
The Janitor 11s.
Give me a pair of Heelys.
All right, we need to relax. We're going a little too far.
Bro,
Some light up sketchers.
nothing is more tempting to me than seeing a small child with some Heelys because I
dropping
want
them?
to trip the shit out of them.
You know how lit it'd be to have like the Heelys and then have a rolling book bag behind you, so you just like all wheels. This kid just sails by.
People would call you Wheels.
Oh, absolutely. Or Fruit Loops.
Hot Wheels.
If I bought you some New Balance 608s,
I wouldn't even have to look at them. Hell no, I'm not wearing those. Those are white dude shoes.
what if they were the most comfortable thing you've ever slipped on your feet?
What that mean? You wear them. How about that? Exactly. Yeah, it's like you over here making jokes.
Yeah, for all those listeners, Google New Balance
cool.
Men's 608 B4.
I mean, you could bring them back. Somebody can bring that style back. High top socks and New Balance.
Yep.
Because you have to know what ugly looks like to know to wear that. Like you have to be fashionable enough to know what is in style and isn't to wear something like that and pull it off.
Yeah, see, this can be brought back if you do it correctly.
And a pair of like acid wash jean shorts with like high top socks, a pair of them New Balance on.
You better be thin. Like,
yeah, you gotta have a nice balance to your body.
You gotta be thin, yeah.
You gotta be a thin dude.
You can't even be jacked. Like, you gotta be thin.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a certain body type that can pull that off.
Are you somebody's white uncle?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Why?
Acid wash jean shorts?
That's what I'm saying, yeah. As acid wash jean shorts, high top socks, New Balance, tucked in polo shirt, a cap, like an old cap that's been around for a long time. It's got some scratches on it. Kind of
like a Kango cap?
Yeah, like just not a
A
Kango.
forward Kango?
No, not a Kango, like a baseball cap.
See, I was thinking about trying to bring these back.
You could bring those back.
Okay, you guys need to chill. We're going too far with these.
Those could be
No,
brought back.
these can be brought back. You can rock these with like you get your
The
jeans.
solid white Reeboks.
Yeah, dude. These could be brought
Yeah,
back.
but you need like joggers. Like you need a
Yeah,
good
you
pair
need to breathe
of
with the joggers. Yeah, maybe the navy blue joggers or like
You
actually
look-
the
you
electric.
wear those, you look like a nurse at a sperm bank.
All right, guys.
You know, we're wild.
we deviated a lot today.
Yeah, and on that note,
Yeah, I think it's been a good
We
episode.
didn't realize these all white shoes.
Yeah,
Right.
it was.
but,
We still have 2 more minutes to meet Elvin's timeline.
we don't have to do the 2 minutes. It's all good.
It's all good. I think that's
No,
a good
let's
touch
keep
point.
going. 2 more
We're
minutes.
trying to balance it out, guys, to where we get it to like 45 minutes for the podcast, so that way we always stay consistent. You know what I mean? And so I think we're hitting a good point for that.
Yeah. So enjoy the start of the next week. You know,
Right.
Monday's right around the corner. Like if you listen to us on Sunday, I don't know when we're gonna post it, but
Probably tonight.
Probably tonight.
well,
yeah.
tonight then. Like I said, just enjoy the next week.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Enjoy this on your car ride to work on Monday.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have a good start to your week, folks.
All right, y'all. You know the usual. Follow us on Instagram. Or not, I keep saying Instagram, Twitter.
I mean, you can try follow.
I mean, you could try to follow us on Instagram, but you might end up finding some random bread on Instagram. It's like, what's this pumper? They don't post anything. It's just a shot of bread. Like, it's like, yeah, that might be us, though. In all fairness,
I was about to say that is ours.
that is our style. Follow us on Twitter, of course. Pumpernickel Pod.
Pumpernickel Pod.
Gmail.
Pumpernickel Podcast
Yep.
at gmail.com.
Our
Send us any
website's up.
ideas,
Hey, yeah.
comments, concerns, whatever.
Exactly. Website's up and everything. So yeah, check us out, y'all. All right. Have a good week.
All right.